Hello and welcome to the Catalog Collector. Today we have a pretty short video talking about a pretty small thing. I always wanted to talk about Parmigiani. Unfortunately, this doesn't give me much to talk about. They used to have a nice catalog, but by the time I came around to getting my catalogs, they've moved on. They've become environmentally conscious, and so have stopped producing catalogs for some reason. They did, however, send me, quite recently in fact, perhaps 6 months after I asked for a catalog and never heard from them again, this little card with a new release. So I guess we can talk about this. It's quite interesting once you get past the fluff. So Parmigiani Fleurier, right? Another not Swiss but Swiss, I'm sure, sounding name. So what do we have here? Little card, won't talk about it much. Here on the cover we have a watch, and it's a watch with a tourbillon in obviously not a nicely symmetrical 6 o'clock position, but slightly off center. Now in this one I actually don't mind, because you get both the 6 and the 8 numerals, and as we'll get into it further, I do quite like this design, as with many Parmigiani watches. We open it to see some pictures we'll get into later, and a couple nicely broken blocks of text that unfortunately commit the problem of fluff. Fluff, fluff, fluff. Let me read it to you. Here, let's zoom it in and get it like this. The new Parmigiani Fleurier Toric Tourbillon Slate, a distinguished timepiece representing the quintessence of refined watchmaking. The toric and its bezel represent a convergence of the bonds that unite nature, mathematics, and architectural geometry. It is the result of the wealth of Michael Parmigiani's observations, governed by the golden ratio. The guilloche dial, with its concentric pattern, evokes the arrangement of the scales on a pine cone, one of the innumerable examples of the golden ratio seen in the natural world. The knurling on the bezel has been created by hand making each case unique. The ultra-thin PF 517 movement, comprising a platinum micro-rotor, bridges with Côte de Genève decoration, and flying tourbillon, was developed and produced in-house by our manufacturer. To keep the timepiece as slim as possible, the tourbillon was integrated in the movement's main plate, making it the thinnest automatic flying tourbillon available on the market. This feat of technology is limited to 25 pieces worldwide. Yeah, quite a bit of fluff there. Now let's zoom out a tiny bit. I should refocus here. And well, the important thing about this is platinum micro rotor, Côte de Genève, handmade case, guilloche on the dial, integrated tourbillon on the main plate, making it the thinnest automatic tourbillon on the market. Oh, and it's a limited edition of 25 pieces, making it impossible to get. Now that we've seen this, I will talk a bit about this watch and what I think about it, obviously, because I do think that this is something that is quite representative of Parmigiani. It's a good approximation of what you could get with their other watches. Of course, it's one of the more expensive ones, but you could compare it with some of the others. Parmigiani is, in my opinion, quite a unique company. Yes, they manufacture created movements in-house and all that stuff, but they do produce a nice watch. In this case, I will bring you in closer, not farther away, to see some closer shots of this. I actually think this watch is a very nicely designed watch from an aesthetic point of view. I do quite like the numerals, the guilloche, and the ribbing on the case. I think works quite well in this case. I usually don't like this kind of decoration on a case, but in this case, I think it works quite nicely. Parmigiani Fleurier, all of that. The hands also, I quite like. They're very unique, and I've never seen that anywhere else. Inside the cover, I do like how these pictures are arranged, but who cares about that? We see the case is nice and slim, and I mean it's nice. Here we can see the tourbillon. It's nice that you can see it. I like how it, as I said before, it doesn't even touch the 6 or the 8. It doesn't knock off anything, which, being off center, has its positives and negatives. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you obviously don't. I don't mind it in this case. I would usually probably prefer it at the 6 o'clock position, but as I said, it works with this one. And I do like that that seconds indicator here. Not everyone has a seconds indicator. They sometimes just leave it with the three prongs of the flying tourbillon cage. But it's nice to see it. And it appears to be blued steel. I'm not sure on that, but it does look quite nice. Here you can better see the hands, which have this sort of weird diamond, and then they're nice diamond. I wonder if it's loomed. That would be interesting, even though kind of useless, but that touch of white does look nice. And here, of course, the smallest picture showing the smallest close-up of the most important thing, the movement. It is quite a pretty movement, I've got to say. The design and the layout and everything is quite stellar. Quite stellar. The micro rotor in particular, the platinum micro rotor, it's nicely made. I do like the design of the micro rotor. Now, most micro rotors look pretty darn good, but a few in particular stand out. I've got to say that Parmigiani's micro rotors, in addition to like Patek Philippe's, they do stand out. They are quite nice. But in addition, the design of the bridges is quite nice. I think the point on what I will assume is the center wheel. Perhaps not the center wheel. What is that? I don't know. With the tourbillon, everything's complicated. Maybe that's the center wheel and that's the third wheel. Sorry. I don't know. But that point over there is quite nice. I really do like these kinds of points. And yeah, I'm talking about a point on a bridge. But I appreciate everything here. And the Côte de Genève is quite... It seems to be kind of curved on here. I'm not exactly sure. It might be straight, but to me on this photo it looks slightly curved. I wonder if that's how it actually is, but if so, then that's also quite unique. Now let me give you some of my thoughts on Parmigiani as a company. I think they're quite a nice company, unique, pretty unique. They make some nice things, especially focusing on the slimmer watch market, I have to say. They are, in that regards, pretty good. They are a luxury Swiss watch brand, and so, you know, that That's not particularly my favorite area of watchmaking. They tend to be a little overpriced and underfinished and all of that, but Parmigiani does offer a nice product. And not just this watch, but many of their watches, they're not anything offensive, they're not anything weird. They have a nice, unique design that is classic. It's, in my opinion, quite beautiful. And though, unfortunately, they don't have a catalog anymore, at least they made it up by sending me a pamphlet. As I said, their design to me is really elegant. It's really an elegant design that I haven't really seen elsewhere. They do make quite a unique design to their watches, and I appreciate that. It's nice to see, and I hope that they may start making a catalog again. That's all I've got to say. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the video to the end. If you liked it, please subscribe and like the video. Perhaps consider supporting me on Patreon. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I will be coming out with catalog collectors once a week for the foreseeable future. Of course, until I run out of catalogs. We'll see what happens then. See you in the next one.